So you know, yesterday I mentioned, debilitated planets whilst I was talking about my debilitated moon, right? And it reminded me that actually I have to come back on here and talk about the best aspects of debilitated planets, like I promised you guys last year, because last year I made a video about the bad parts of exalted planets, because usually people, when they talk about exalted planets, they just think that it's going to be great, everything is going to be beautiful. The people that have exalted planets are like the angels of the earth, which is not the case, like I showed you guys. So now I'm coming back to defend the debilitated planets, and also to show that they actually also have best qualities about them. And then next two videos will be to show the popular known theories as well about the worst parts of debilitated planets and the best parts of exalted planets, right? So let's just get into this. It's going to be detailed, this video, so get ready, get a snack, and let's get into the detail. So first of all, let's define what debilitation means in terms of planets and astrology, right? So when people talk about debilitation, or when we talk about debilitation in astrology, we talk about when the planet is placed in a sign whereby it does not feel the most power in its energy, or in exhausting, or in producing even energy in that planet. So how does this happen? Let's get deeper. So basically, debilitation happens to the planets whereby they arrive at a sign where they need to do work that is foreign to them, to their nature, work that is controversial to their behavior, work that is not promoting what they stand for. So this is what the debilitation is all about, right? So here now I joined this chart of to show you where the planets are getting debilitated. We can see that Saturn, we're going to start with the first house. Saturn gets debilitated in Aries, because Saturn is all used to serving people and working with people. But in Aries, Saturn is forced to be an individual person, whereby they have to push their own agenda, which is excluding the rest of the people that it's used to. Because Saturn is used to organizing for people, organizing protests for people, working for people. But here it's all about itself, and it's an uncomfortable position, and it has to lead. And Saturn is a shy planet, with its insecurities. But now here it's called to be a leader, so obviously it's going to lose its strength and lose the energy, hence the debilitation, right? Now when it comes to relationships, right, because we always have to try to get back to our topic of relationships. So it means here that if Saturn is in Aries, right, the person feels the urge or feel forced to be the leader in the relationship and to lead towards the commitment, and they might feel pressured to do it sooner than they are ready, because Saturn now here is forced by the impulse of Mars to do what Mars likes, because this is Mars's sign. So the person here could get into marriage quicker, sooner than they would have done normally, and mostly without planning. So which also could lead to sudden divorces as well, and sudden breakups in the if it's a relationship, right? So now let's move on to the second house. So here we find Ketu in the second house being debilitated, because Ketu does not like to be attached to family things, valuables like material stuff, money, your bank account. It really doesn't want to be attached to these things, because these things, they keep us, attached to this earth, to this realm, right, to this dimension. And Ketu would like people to do what they call to do and move on to the next dimension, right? So here, and it can give money. Don't think that it's going to take it away when it's in the second house. No, Ketu does not take it away. It can give money, but it can give it mostly through the spouse. But then that's not the point. The point is that when it's here, it's feeling uncomfortable because it's forced to manage money, to manage family life, to manage, your belief systems, your, in terms of values, what you value in life, and for it would rather be focused on you going to the next dimension, right? So now back to the main point is that when it's here, then it can give all of these things, through the spouse. So if you have Ketu in the second house, it would very be beneficial for you to have somebody in your life, because then once you get married or you get into a serious relationship, then your shared resources, they go up, your money goes up, even in your bank account goes up, and you could also find some discoveries in terms of gold if you're searching for gold, in terms of valuables, like in terms of minerals, right? So that's how you would do with this debilitated Ketu here in the second house. However, it does cause some separations with your family. Of course, it's not separations that are permanent, but it does cause some sort of separation with certain members of theirs. But then we're going to get deeper, in terms of what they do, right? The third house, no planet feels debilitated, because everyone feels good in a Gemini's house. When it comes to the fourth house, Mars gets debilitated here because, like I've already told you guys, Mars does not like to form a family life. Mars is not about forming a family life. Mars is not about expressing emotions in a nurturing way, in a caring way. Mars is, though, about, the building of the house for the family, but not necessarily the dynamics within the family or the family life or pushing for the family life. So Mars here, with all these emotions and caring and nurturing that is required from the fourth house, fails to do this. It doesn't know how to to be part of a family structure. It likes to be independent. It likes to run solo. It likes to be able to wake up in the morning and go, like, if a guy, like a single guy who's just dating everyone, wake up in the morning and move to this region if they want, without having to answer to kids, to wife, to mom, to anyone, right? So this is a bachelor. Mars is a bachelor, has a tendency of a bachelor. And in the fourth house here, this is a structure of a family unit where there's not only one person but a lot of people, mom, dad, kids, right? And so Mars really finds it difficult. So now moving on to the fifth house. Here, nobody gets debilitated in the fifth house. Everyone is welcome in the king's house. So now when we go to the sixth house, here Venus gets debilitated in the sixth house. Funny enough, this is her friend's house, Mercury, but it gets debilitated. So of course, which comes to show that debilitation really is not a bad thing, as people say, because here this is a friend's house, right? But Venus here is called to actually focus on practical life that it would rather not do. Venus would rather have fun, socialize with people higher class, not really be of service like a nurse, and stuff. And remember, Venus can be nurturing, right? But in its nurturing, it would rather focus on the materialistic side of life, not the actual servitude of, being like like a cleaner, a server, a waitress. Venus does not like these type of classed positions, right? And in the 6th house is forced to focus on this. So in terms of a relationship, now Venus is the one who's forced to wait on other people to keep these relationships going, whereas Venus would rather be the one who is being spoiled, who is being bought gifts, who is being shown service, and not the other way around, right? So then Venus here becomes too lazy to do these practical things, which are requiring a lot of practical involvement in the relationship, right? Then when it comes to the 7th house, we have Sun here being debilitated, because now Sun is used to the fame. Because remember, the 5th house is of Leo, the sign of Leo rather, is all about the fame, the cinema, being on the stage, everybody knowing you, everybody praising what you do, your achievements. You're just on the stage of life, right? But now in the 7th house, this is where everybody is. There is no one who's praising anyone here. Everyone wants to work together. Everyone wants to form a business together, a contract together, work in communion, in partnership here. And now Sun is like, oh my gosh, I'm so big, and now I have to work with these people, and form contracts with them. This is new to me, where I have to put my crown down on the floor and mingle with the rest of the people to form partnerships and contracts and negotiate. Like, oh my gosh, this is too much for me, right? So when it comes to relationships, it means the same, and that's why most of the relationships, when it comes to overlays in synastry, when somebody's Sun comes into your 7th house, then the relationship gets ruined, because Sun here comes in and just wants to rule over the whole thing, like lead the show. And it depends obviously on the ascendants as well. It wants to lead the show, take over, or the host of the Sun, that means the house owner, is the one who becomes so dependent to the point that they are egoistic, they show egoistic tendencies. They want to run the show because of the Sun. Now all of a sudden they feel amped up to rule over their partner, which is what we saw in the synastry of Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, because Justin Baldoni's Sun overlays in her 7th house, and you see where that got them. All right, so this is what happens with Sun here and getting the debilitation, right? So again, just to show that the ascendant, to look at the ascendant is important, because Blake Lively is a Cancer ascendant, and in her 7th house is Capricorn, and the Sun of Justin Baldoni, which is in Capricorn, which is enemies to the Sun. You get it? So it's enemies to the Sun. So meaning that Justin Baldoni's Sun is in an anemic sign already. So now being in the 7th house of Blake Lively, it was obviously designed for them to turn out to be enemies, because the anemic sign of Capricorn is hosting Sun, which is enemy to Saturn, right? So these are the very small details. Okay, they might seem small, these details, but they really change the outcome of synastry or of your chart or of your life, right? So now when we move to the 8th house, here in the 8th house we have 2 planets being debilitated. We have Moon and Rahu, because remember, obviously, if Ketu is being debilitated in the 2nd house, then by design Rahu is going to get debilitated in the 8th house. But we also have Moon being debilitated. Why is Moon being debilitated in the 8th house of Scorpio? It is because Moon likes soft life. Moon likes have access to food, have immediate access to your family, because Moon is all about family. So it likes to have immediate access to family, and the second house is the first houses when it comes to family relationships. And this is where Moon is the happiest, where everybody is, the grandma, the grandfather, the mama, the papa, the kids, everyone is in the same house, and Moon likes to see this. And everybody's eating, having big dinners, nourishing as well each other, sharing finances, what they have. Moon obviously likes to see this. Then in the 8th house, Moon now it goes to the house of the in-laws. It's now coming from its own home to the house of the in-laws to look for food, to look for valuables, to look for family, which is something nobody likes. Nobody likes to leave their home to look for survival things from other houses, right? But here Moon is forced to do this. So as I said, Moon likes the soft life, right? So now when it's leaving its comfort zone of the family life into the 8th house, it's also leaving security, because the 8th house is about insecurities, about sudden things, and it's also about trauma. And within the family structure of the 2nd house, there's lots of comfort, but in the 8th house it introduces these traumas, these sudden things which are obviously uncomfortable to the Moon. And when it comes to Rahu, same thing. Rahu likes the extravagant life, likes the YOLO, the good life, luxuries, money, have access to everything that you want. And in the 8th house, it's forced to depend onto the spouse, so again, another thing that it doesn't want to do, because it would rather have its own access, right? But now here it has to scam to get the stuff, right? So Rahu feels like it doesn't have enough in the 8th house because of the codependence that now it has to rely on. It doesn't have easy access to it. It has to ask somebody else to have access to these things that it likes. And so it's not a comfortable life, it's not a life that gives security to both Rahu and Moon here. It's the same thing with the relationship. Where there's Moon and Rahu, or Rahu in the 8th house, you find that in synastry particularly, that there's a lot of stress that is being brought to the person's planet, like the person who's making the overlay, because this is a new ground to them. This 8th house is a scary house to them. It's a house that they have to learn to survive. And you find that they start now, these planets, to be manipulative in the 8th house. They can also be moody, or have psychosis, cause psychosis, things of this nature. They are to be expected in the relationship. And then when it comes to the 9th house, no planet gets debilitated. Everybody's welcome. But in the house of, or in the sign of Jupiter, Sagittarius, right? When it comes to the 10th house, or the sign of Capricorn, because remember, regarding of the sign or the house even, it can also always give the debilitation. So it doesn't matter where Capricorn is, Jupiter will feel the debilitation, or these signs will feel the debilitations in those signs where they feel, even in the housing itself, because of the underlying rulership of that sign. Therefore, the feelings of debilitation will always stay the same as as if it were Capricorn in that house of the 10th house all the time, right? But here Jupiter feels debilitated because it's forced to work and to answer to a boss, or be a boss of someone, and it doesn't like that type of a structure. It likes to free will. It likes to have some room to be explorative, to be able to decide to travel when it wants without having to answer to anyone. So even in relationships now, where you find Jupiter in Capricorn or in the 10th house, you find that the partner has to answer a lot to their partner, or you receive a lot of instructions which they don't really appreciate so much. And there's a lot of work that also gets involved in making the relationship work, and the free will and the explorative nature that Jupiter likes, it just gets taken away by this too much practicality of Capricorn, focusing on status and all of that. And Jupiter doesn't care about status. It just wants to be able to talk to everyone, share the message that it wants to share, and be happy, right? So in relationships, this is how it can make a relationship suffer, or a partner feels the stress of it all, right? And then in Aquarius, no planet feels debilitated. Everyone is welcome in the house of Aquarius. And then in the house of Pisces, 12th house, Mercury here feels debilitated because Mercury is forced to think about things that it's not used to. It's used to thinking about stuff that is practical, that it can see with the visual eye, that it can touch, calculate, be of service to other people. But here with the sign of Pisces or the 12th sign, it is taken away from its servitude, from being a server or a waiter or serving the partner in the relationship, to being now put on a pedestal or in a world that is unfamiliar to it, where it has to dream and vision, and make art, and it's not used to these things. So in a relationship, in the overlay, this can be a stress to a partner who has to put their Mercury in somebody's 12th house, because now they would be introduced to a world also even of undoing of health. And Mercury in the 6th house feels comfortable, looking after his own health, their diet, what they eat, their schedule, their routine. But in the 12th house, all of that gets lost, and a partner who places their Mercury can experience lots of loss in terms of their health and even their habits, really, and they start consuming things that deter their health so gravely, like in a bad way, right? So this is why these planets get debilitated. So now we're going to focus on the good things, the best things about debilitated planets, so that we don't have a negative tonation towards them, so that we don't misjudge people based on they are debilitated planets and think they are the worst and think they are the sociopaths when it comes to Moon in Scorpio, and we think all these horrible things, right? So now let's look at the best things about these planets that give to people, so that we can appreciate our partners in a better way and understand them in a better way as well. But before I do that, I just want to focus on the sun part, because in the Western astrology, the sun becomes the focus of astrology, really. All the other planets seem to matter less, but the sun sign becomes like the thing, right? So I just want to focus on that, so at that I can just kind of motivate people in not really like looking down upon people with debilitated suns as well. So when we talk about a debilitated sun, we're talking about sun in Libra here, right? But remember, as I said, even with the house system, even if maybe there's a Scorpio in the 7th house, always remember that there's an underlying foundation of the Libra sign in that part, in the 7th house, right? So sun gets debilitated in Libra, and as I already explained what it does and all of that, but what I want you to think about and ask yourself is this: when your light is being challenged, does it make you not have light? It doesn't. It doesn't take away your light. Just because your light doesn't have enough gas, it does not take away the fact that you still have light within you. So a debilitated sun, it doesn't take away the fact that these they can still be popular people. They can still be people who are worshipped in our society. They can still be people who are massively rich. They can still be people who are ruling our society, right? As a matter of fact, look at these celebrities who have debilitated suns in Libra. And of course, all of these people from the Western astrology, they would have a Scorpio sun. But because I'm using sidereal, they have a Libra sign, a sun sign, right? But as you can see in our society, these are the names that we know of people who are popular, very well achieved in the society, right? And they have different placements because, for example, Kim Kardashian's sun is in the 12th house and that of her mother's is in the first house, and they still shine. They still achieve things in our society. So just because you have a debilitated planet, it does not take away the ability for you to achieve so greatly in a society and to play a huge role in a society. It does not take away that. So do not be scared about debilitation and all of that just because, you know, it's been given a bad name. It's been made unpopular and infamous by some people, you know. So don't be scared. You can still achieve many things. You can still be great as well, obviously in your relationships as well, right? Now let's get into the good and the best part of each planet and see how great it can be as a planet and what it can do for you in your relationship when it's coming from your partner, right? So when it comes to the sun, right, in Libra, in a relationship, these people, they are a team player. Like, they care about the partner's needs, they listen, they're very cooperative, and they use a lot of communication, even if it may be difficult at times, you know, but they use a lot of communication to try to know what's happening with the partner, how can they help, and all of those things, right? They're very humble because sun here becomes humbled naturally. They have the crown on the floor. So their pride, you know, they don't mind to let it go. They don't mind to swallow their pride to make the relationship be a successful thing, right? They don't try to overpower the partner or take the lead or be prideful. That means, you know, with the communication skills, they can also be a very good listener to the partner's needs and, you know, everything. Even in their families and stuff like that, they can be good mediators. If there's a fight, you know, they can use diplomacy to solve, you know, those situations, right? So they really prioritize like balance and harmony in the relationship, and where there is an instability in regarding these themes, they feel unsettled even more. So when it comes to a debilitated sun, it is 100% a team player and a good partner, right? Also, my book, you know, Dragon Astro Yoga is art, and it is going to help you in your journey, in your healing, as well as in discovering who you are and getting closure, because it is a participative book. It is not a book that you're reading, you put it away. No, you have to participate and do activities regarding your chart and that of your partner, and get to know not only yourself but your partner as well. So get it on Amazon now, right? So then when it comes to the moon, a debilitated moon, this is somebody who's going to be vulnerable with you. Like, they're not afraid to tell you their deepest secrets when they feel like, you know, you have a relationship with them, and they are also able to just open up, you know, to trusting you and for you to trust them. So basically, this moon makes a partner who's intensely involved in the relationship. they are emotionally involved as well. Like you feel their presence emotionally, and you don't doubt, that they hear or not. They become very protective as well, protective of the spouse, protective of the children, of everyone around them that they love. They also loyal, of course, highly loyal. Like this is your ride or die person. They will be, somebody. There will be somebody who that is there for you, right? So what they usually tend to do is to look for serious relationships, whereby they feel like you guys are bonding in a intense way, in a serious way. So when you look for serious commitment with a debilitated Scorpio person, you can get this, right? And they can also be empathic, because they understand the themes of the trauma of the 8th house. So they usually understand, other people who are going through these things, and they're able to be empathic with them, right? And as a result, they embrace any changes that happen in the relationship or that happen in the partner. They easily understand transformation, and they do encourage, those type of things as well. So that's it with the debilitated moon in Scorpio. Now, when it comes to a debilitated Mars in the 4th house or in the house of Cancer, in this Cancer sign, these people, they tend to be overprotective. Like they will die fighting for you, protecting you, defending you. They want to defend the people that they love. Like you cannot hurt anyone that they love, because then you have to go through them, right? And as a result, they can also be extremely loyal towards the defense and the protection of the people that they love. They also become very good in gathering resources for the family. So they become driven towards making sure that the family or the partner has resources that they need to survive, so they become that gatherer of these resources with a driven objective of making sure that, these things for the people that they love, right? When it comes to the debilitated Mercury in Pisces sign or the 12th house, this person becomes extremely sensitive to the feelings and the emotions of their partner. They sense them, they sense the atmosphere, making it easy for the partner to just be vulnerable. They also are analytical, but in a sensitive way, in a sympathetic way, and they're highly creative. They can come up with ideas, creative ideas to solve problems within the relationship or within the family structure, to provide solutions, for the existing problems. So they become the problem solver, but who comes with creative ideas and abstract ideas as well. So they can be visionaries, right, in terms of, how the relationship should go, what's needed to support the relationship. So they come up with these great ideas, that are based on the bigger vision of what's good for the relationship. So the communication here can be sensible as well, can be pushed with a lot of sympathy, a lot of giving, a lot of understanding, trying to understand the other person in a sensible manner, right? Debilitated Jupiter now in our Capricorn or the 10th house becomes, a coach to the partner. So they lend, this coaching advice towards the practicality of the life. They provide, a stable counsel and support in terms of, going towards achieving dreams in a realistic manner. And they promote patience, whilst they are teaching, or whilst they are advising. And they come up with ideas that are based on wisdom, on how to have structure, how to have discipline, and how to build, long lasting connections, within the relationship. So their wisdom and, experiences, they come in, and help shape the relationship into a practical result or a practical outcome that is, helping obviously the relationship build a certain status within the community and be respected as well. So they also bring that element of respect towards the relationship or their partner. So very nice. When it comes to the debilitated Venus in the 6th house or in the house of Virgo, here the Venus, tends to have a love language that is based on service. So they do for you, right? They show you that they love you by doing for you, by doing things, acts of service, right? And they tend to now take forms of health as well. When they're nurturing you, they will consider your health. When they're buying something for you, they will consider if is it healthy for you or not. So they become very thoughtful and detailed orientated here. So everything that they do for you in romance is well thought of, is well planned, carefully selected, so that they meet the needs of you, like they satisfy you to the exact manner that you want and the exact way that you want. So their love language is based on what you want, what will make you happy, what will make you healthy, what will make you feel good mentally as well, right? And what will fit your schedule. So they become really orientated in their love language and showing their affection and showing their expression of their love and union and commitment towards you. Oh la la, it's so nice. So now when it comes to a debilitated Saturn in Aries, Saturn here takes a bold vision, like it becomes very bold in leading you, in leading the relationship towards commitment, towards an end goal, towards a bigger goal. It becomes like the person or with the Saturn would be encouraging their partner to be independent, to think independently, to do things independently. So they would push for action, for courage, towards achieving status, towards achieving practical things in life, towards achieving resources, towards just being respected in the society, right? So they become like the leader, the self-starter, in pursuing things without fear, and with a lot of passion. So basically most of the things here are done with courage, right? And less hesitance towards achieving things. So it becomes quite stable in terms of helping or directing the relationship to have an objective and to achieve that objective, right? When it comes to debilitated Rahu in the 8th house as well, here Rahu becomes very goal orientated into having resources together, into building resources together in the relationship. So the Rahu will encourage the partner towards, let's make a bank, let's have money, let's build projects that will bring us money, so it pushes that goal, and it wants to also relate to the in-laws, form relationships to the in-laws. So the person will be asking a lot, about your mom. When can I meet your mom? When can we go to your home to meet these people in your life? So it promotes these things with the desire to have, a bigger vision or a bigger shared life than normal, a bigger sex life, a bigger explorative goal towards, the occult as well together, bondage in spiritual journey. So it becomes huge Rahu here, and it can help the relationship amass lots of wealth together, lots of materialistic things, right? And of course, when it comes to the shared life, when it comes to the intimacy, then it also becomes big, wild, and varied in terms of satisfaction and obviously variety. So yeah. So the debilitated Ketu in the second house, it can make a person be like, it can promote a partner or a person be independent of their family. Like it can promote that you need to be your own person and not depend so much on your family or so much on your wealth. It can promote that detachment, that you have to be happy just by being yourself, and the little that you have, you don't need much to be a person or to survive on earth. So it becomes very independent, and it promotes independence, and it can also promote speaking your mind without thinking about how people will feel, how they will think. Just be yourself, say what you want to say in the manner that you want to say it, right? So it can also promote that, and it can also bring old money to you, because this is a house of family, and Ketu is from the past life. It's the past, it's like a past thing. So it can bring old money, like lineage money that you didn't even know existed, and it can be awarded to you here, because Ketu is connecting the past to the present, and this is the money, this is the house of money as well. So there could be inheritances that are brought through Ketu here, which is obviously something very good as well. But at the same time, it can also promote that you don't have to depend on this money that you're getting, in order for you to feel worthy. You don't need to depend on your family in order for you to feel worthy on this earth, right? So on that note, I'm gonna say thank you, and I'll chat to you soon. For now, ciao ciao.